we have a panel, and this is a great time to segue into that. I want you to be able to hear from our current members. All of these are current members. I'm going to bring them up right now and just ask them some questions. And if you have any questions about how this overall lighthouse effect system, the clarity process, even the AI tools here, because I need to restart my computer and I don't want to lose you guys. So clearly I can't do that right now. How all of this whole thing is working for them, this would be a great time to ask them some questions. So I'm going to start and highlight some of our members as they come to the front. So we have Lori Scheibel. Lori, can you raise your hand and we'll start spotlighting each of you? Hi, Lori. Lori is a leadership coach. She's
Oh,
been with us this last year. Thank you, Lori, for joining us. And
absolutely.
I think what I'll do is and I know we're so limited on time, I'm just going to kind of cycle through. And then at one point, I'm going to put you guys on the screen and we'll see if we can all play and do the thing because it's fun when we're all together. Um, but Lori, what would you say? Where were you when you first came into working with us? And how has this changed your business and just in general? I'm gonna leave it very open-ended just to let you kind of fill in the blanks. Like where
Yeah.
were you and where are you now?
Yeah. So I think when I first came to you, it was like this time a little earlier than this time last year. I was in a place where I had been in my business for several years and had been doing been doing decent business, but constantly in that struggle of how to just keep creating and generating clients. And I didn't have any systems in place. I wasn't clear on my messaging. So now that I have been through this program for almost a full year, we've done a ton of work on my messaging clarity, the beliefs, like how I can meet my people where they are, and then the beliefs that I get to lead them into believing so they feel confident enough to step into the work. And just all the like, what are their problems very specifically, like the tangible
Mhm.
daily experiences in their life, and then what they really want in their life. And it's interesting because I've always kind of cycled around. I've always known who my person is for the most part and generally like what their challenges are. But I've never really gone through that work of getting specific messaging and language that all is cohesive and makes sense together. So that has been super helpful. And that's probably honestly been the most profound thing because I can clearly communicate it out. But some other things we've done, like now with Deb, with your AI tools, we completely built out my own masterclass that I
Mhm.
can now run, which
Mhm.
now is allowing me to set up rotating systems. So versus just going to networking and like posting and going through that process of, engaging in potential clients and having the conversations, actually inviting them into my group and running masterminds and giving lots of value and lots of service on repeat. So this has also given me the tools that I can use to create a system that I
Mhm.
can do over and over and over. And that
Mhm.
that has been the biggest missing link for me
Mhm.
is having a simple system in place
Yeah.
that allows me to generate value and be in service for potential clients no matter where they are in their buying experience, right? Because I think
Mhm.
that's what we've learned too is
Yeah.
people are in your world already. They're already buyers. They just are buying at different time frames. So we need to have, we all know, right? That way that we have to get in front of people for so many hours before most people will commit to buying. How do
Mhm.
we do that on a consistent basis where they really get to know, like, and trust you? So those
Yeah.
were the biggest missing things in my business that I think, and there's so much more, right? There's so many things that I think we've done over the course of
Yeah.
this year to really set myself up so I feel confident in speaking to my client and also operating my business in a systematic way that's taking away so much of that overwhelm that you were mentioning in the beginning.
Yeah.
Also the stops and starts, because I think a
Yeah.
lot of that not having the systems and
Absolutely.
lacking the confidence, like
It's
I was
it's
going through lots of stops and starts, which really is why I wasn't generating the consistency and getting to the next level and continually growing in my business. So everything I feel really good now is set up in my business so that I have all that in place.
I love that. And I could spend the whole hour chatting up with you. And I know I invited five people to the panel. I'm like, I'm not going to have enough time with everyone.
Yeah.
I love that. If anyone has any questions for Lori, please like shoot away. Like if you have any specific questions, um, I love hearing your perspective. Like you highlighted things, I heard a lot about belief. We talk a lot about belief, like what do our audience need to believe with our content,
Yeah.
systems. That was our step five is it's scalability. I believe if you're going to grow a business, grow it with systems that can grow with you, right?
Hmm.
And so that to me is that you're able to start scaling, which is what you're doing now. So
Yeah.
I really appreciate you sharing that. I think it would be interesting because there's five people I want to touch on really briefly. And if anyone has questions for anyone here, please let me know. I know I'm putting you guys on the spot, but I know you guys can answer a question. I want to bring up someone that's been with us for the shortest amount of time because Lori's been with us for over a year. I'd like to spotlight Michelle Robinson, who is a seer. She is I'm, pardon me, Michelle, if you even want to introduce yourself, you can. But Michelle has been through just the first part because you saw all the steps, right? Michelle has been through the the clarity on her messaging and her offer, right? Because we have to do those in succession before we get to the rest of the process. So good to see you, Michelle. Thanks for
Thank
being
you,
here.
Debbie. It's great to be here. Yes, I'm a seer, a channel, and a guide for light beings and way showers. And I move them into clarity and confidence and a really deep connection with their true selves so they can embrace their soul's calling and intentionally create a life that reflects their true brilliance without feeling isolated, confused, or uncertain about their path.
So
And
beautiful.
before I met Debbie, I had no capacity to say anything like that.
Well done.
So, yay, Debbie.
I wanted to spotlight you because I really saw light bulbs go off, and this is common, but the way you explained how the light bulbs go off was just very I really appreciated how open and honest you were through the process. I know that you've been running your business for quite a long time. You're very seasoned. Can you share like what was different about this experience for you?
The whole thing was different, really. And I came looking for clarity, and there was an abundance of it, like at every corner, and so many ahas and awarenesses that came through just following the process, which is deceptively simple to do, but incredibly deep with what it uncovers.
Yes,
And
it
one of the other things that I really got out of this was you showed me a way, Debbie, to sort of nurture my clients that wasn't exhausting to me,
Mm,
and to take care of them and to take
hmm
care of, a larger spread of clients
hmm
because I was wanting to scale my business, even though it
Right.
was sort of full.
hmm
Um, you just really sort of laid out the steps to do it in a way that I felt I could do that, it made sense.
hmm Thank you for
And
sharing
I
that.
loved that the groups were really small
hmm
and you're very generous with your time and your knowledge. So, it was an incredible experience and it's really totally moved the needle for me in my business.
Can you share what that means so people can get a little context? And you can share just whatever you'd like to with that.
Yeah, so I came from an unusual situation where my business is completely referral based. So I was doing all sorts of things, responding to all sorts of requests. And my practice was full, but I wanted to take more control of that and then scale the business. So Debbie was able to help me really get clear about who I ideally wanted to work with. And then I was able to go back and go through my client list and
Mhm.
sort of cherry pick. And that's what I'm still in the process of doing, cherry pick the ones that really, really match that profile.
Mhm.
And it's been quite magical because it's focused and it's clear and it's targeted and I'm putting the right thing to the right people. The response is brilliant. Like everyone's going, oh, yes, I'd love to. And so, um, there's this re-engagement of clients that had been sort of lost or just
Yeah.
hanging out there that
Mhm.
are now back in the business. And I'm building a group as well out
So
of that.
exciting.
Yes,
I'm
it is.
so excited for you. I just thank you for sharing that. You have a way of explaining things so clearly. And I love clarity. So no, I really appreciate you so much. And it gives me so much joy to see you just, lighting up so many other people's lives and just having that joy for how you're building your business. That to me is where it's all at. So I really appreciate you, Michelle. And I know our time is limited, but that was just magical. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Yeah. And again, if anyone has questions, like throw them down. We're here, happy to answer. Let me pull forward Sherry Toledo. Sherry's we have a lot of seasoned experts in our sphere. Sherry is a doctor, is Dr. Sherry, with all kinds of mastery in helping you build your online program and courses. Sherry shared with me something that was like, really? I'm your sixth coach. Is that correct? Did I get it totally wrong? Eighth?
Eight.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you told me, I'm going to let you share what has been different about this and tell me about the Sherry before we started working together and the Sherry today.
I've got it coming. All right. Um, so I wrote down this note that when you and I met, I was ready to shut down my coaching business. I'd been through so many coaches that had this here, this there, this here, this there, but nobody put it together. And that's what you did for me, is you put it all together so that I didn't have to like, okay, so I'm an educator. I've been an educator for over 40 years. And so shifting from being that educator to now being the CEO, the person in charge, the person that magically puts the money in my bank instead of the school district or my university. That was, so you did that on our first call. Just get to know you call. It was, why are you doing that? It's like, I don't like doing this, but that's what I thought people expected. You're like, why are you doing that? And that was the whole launch part and social media and everything. I can do it, but that's not my lane. And so
Right.
just within like 2 minutes, I felt this huge weight come off of me. So you talk about clarity, that was like from here to here to here to here, boom. So I am good at helping people create programs. I am good at helping people create online courses. And yeah, that was the big part. So that was me before. You ready?
Yeah, I'm
Now it's
ready.
like, get out of my way, because I know what I'm doing and I know that people need what I have. And I didn't have a sense of that before. I didn't have a sense of, I'll even show you my ugly, oh, you can't see it because I have a thing on it, but it
Yeah.
says, I am a gift giver and my gift is so huge that it takes a cargo ship to carry it.
I love that.
And I didn't have that before. I didn't have that assurance that I really had something that was needed. I knew people needed to do courses. I knew they needed it, but I wasn't focused, which means I could only take them to a certain point
Right.
of their focus. And now
Yeah.
I feel like I said, get out of my way.
That you have so much belief in the power of your work.
Yeah.
And yeah, and it's so much bigger than us. It's not about you. It's not about me. It's not about our ego. It's about that transformation, which we talk about all the time.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So thank you.
Thank you for sharing that. I appreciate that. Yeah, it's so fun. It's so fun to see all of our members just get excited and love, see the love they have for the work they do, and to really feel the value themselves. It's so important because, you know, I say this all the time. At the end of the day, that's what the people are buying.
Yeah.
They're buying your confidence. They're buying your belief. And it's really important. And it does all come from clarity, right?
I think it's important, you've talked a lot about using the tools and
Yeah.
getting all these things in line, but I would say at least 30, maybe 50% of the time you're dealing with our heads.
Yeah.
Because our issue is that 6 inches between our ears, right? And
Mhm.
so you're really able to take where we're at,
Mhm.
identify what it is, and then give us a kick in the rear if we need it, or an arm around my shoulder if I need it, and help me move. I've been able to help move through a lot of that, the mindset stuff. So I think that's really important
It
to know
is.
that it's not just about putting things together, but it really is the underlying stuff that you help us deal with. So
Yeah. I mean, a word for that would be holistic, right?
yes,
I mean, it's not unlike someone that's a health and wellness coach. It's the whole system, the whole body. It's the same thing
yeah,
with business.
yep,
It's the clarity, it's business uh, processes, and you heard Lori talk about it. All of that has to be anchored in mindset.
yeah,
It's baked in everything I say and do, as you guys
yep.
know.
I
Yeah,
love
thanks
it.
for highlighting that. I
Yeah,
appreciate you. Thank
you
you.
too. Bye.
Okay, so let's hear from Denise Stewart. Where's Denise? Denise is an executive coach for high powered leaders. And did I say that correctly? I probably didn't. Um, hey, how you doing?
How are you?
I'm good. You come with some interesting perspectives because she has so many certifications for coaching. It is amazing. This very super smart gal sitting in front of us, highly certified. You've also worked with a lot of experts.
Mhm.
So I think you have an interesting vantage point. You have worked with a lot of coaches. You have worked with a lot of different experts over your career.
Yes.
What's different here? What's going on in here?
Okay. It is what's different is you and your team, because you're
My
amazing. And
team. I
it's
mean,
amazing.
hello, Anne. Can
There's,
Anne just pop on for a hot
I
second? Can
know.
we do that?
Yes,
Can we
yes.
just bring Anne in here for a second? You guys, it's not just me. We
This
love
this
Anne.
is what you're doing. This is what you are. This is the time that you're purchasing with these women who are extraordinary, and they have the ability to kindly remind you that doing everything is not actually what you should be doing. And they do it in a really kind way, even though you're like, yeah, I know, I hear you. So I consider myself to be a multi-passionate entrepreneur. And I have teacher, lawyer, realtor, coach are so far my categories. I think I'm ending there. But those are my four careers. And I absolutely love to learn, and that creates a little bit of a problem, or has created a little bit of a problem, because there are so many people involved. When I sit down with these ladies and figure out exactly how things are going to be clarified for my clients in my coaching business, because that's what I want to focus on. And so being able to say that and do that, the challenges that I'm provided by both, and the could you please stop going to so many other meetings? Okay, I hear you. I hear what you're saying, and I'm going to miss those people. And yes, some of it needs to get cut out. To be able to focus my time and my attention, the AI tool has been amazing. AI and I don't understand each other, but I've just surrendered my understanding to the fact that it exists. And we were working on it last night. We were playing with some
Mhm.
things. And I have an email that I'm sending out along with a nurture sequence. Like those words coming out of my mouth, talking about anything on social media or nurture sequence, I'm like, what has happened in my brain? So I love the fact that you guys have been able to harness my enthusiasm for everything and focus it in a way that actually supports what I know I want to do and what I came to you to do. So the success calls with Anne are amazing. She is concise, which I'm not necessarily being here, so apologies. But she is concise. She's able to really get you focused. Debbie has the Lighthouse Blueprint program that literally going through that has made a huge difference. I did not post on social media basically at all before I started here. And I've had comments from friends who have been like, I really like seeing your post. That was shocking, and really helpful, very informative for me to know, oh, okay, so people are actually reading this. That's nice. So it's fun to do. And I will say the profit surge and the challenges, even if I'm not sure how they're going to happen sometimes, I appreciate having them because I know it's making me a better entrepreneur. And that at the end of the day is what I want to do. The idea of working for someone else is not at all appealing. Just not. So being able to focus on what I know I can and want to do is huge. So I thank both of you for that. And the community, the women who are in here, we support each other. And that's kind of awesome. So it's small enough for you to be able to care about the people who are in the group with you. And regardless of time zones, we try to make things work. So because we are literally, well, you heard, anytime somebody tells you something is brilliant, they're not from the States. And I love that. I think it's amazing. So the
Yeah,
fact
we
that
have,
we have things that are brilliant in New Zealand or
yeah,
Ireland or wherever they happen to be is pretty phenomenal. So I
um,
appreciate the whole thing. So I think that those are my main things that I wanted to point out. So yeah.
thank you. Thank you, Denise, so much. I appreciate you. And stay here with me. I know there's so
Okay.
much. I know I'm looking at the time. There's so much I need to cover, but I love having you here. And just any words you want to like add real quick, and then we'll bring Caroline on and then yeah, go for it.
I um I think it's a great I have an amazing opportunity to um watch the transformation of the people in the program and get to help to support people in making that transformation. And that is what brings me amazing joy in this job I get to have. So the transformation and learning and the ability for people to change how they talk about um, their business themselves. And it's not just the words that they use, it's again the holistic piece. It's their
Mhm.
body and the energy that surrounds them
Mhm.
in doing that. And that is amazing to be on this side of the screen to watch people as they transform themselves and their businesses into these people that they or into these things that they've always wanted to have
That's
and
so well
just
said.
wasn't haven't been able to find that or to focus enough and to have that clarity that when someone asks them a question they're able to say here's what I do and why I do it and what happens and they're
Yeah.
just like ooh wow I was able to say that
Yeah. And
yeah
build and
it's just
build.
amazing
It's so fun. It's so
yeah
fun.
so
Well,
you
let's
and I have the best jobs around
I know we
we
do. We
do
have so much fun. And
yes
we have so much fun on our team, by
yes
the way. That's a whole nother thing.
yes
We could do a whole behind the scenes thing. We have such a great time. Let's bring Caroline on here with us. Let's do that.
hey Caroline.
And I know we're super limited on time. We'll have to get to it because I've got to go through one more thing. There she is. Hey, you.
Hi,
Hi. So,
And she's in,
Caroline.
you're in Florida now.
I
Yeah.
am.
I can tell by your clothes. That's not Iowa anymore.
Right.
That's
It's in the
right.
tropics.
It's 80 degrees today.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
So Caroline, when you first came to us, you're a published author, and I remember talking to you like, I want to have a huge impact with this book. And then I remember talking to you about I'm not sure what to call it myself, my thing, like And today it's like, oh my gosh, get out of the way. I mean, like what Sherry Toledo just said. You're just like, whoo. What happened in that process for you? Where you were before and where you are now?
Right. I published Opening to Divine Intervention September of 2023. Is that right? Yes.
Mhm.
And joined with you in December of last year. And I knew I wanted to, um, coach again. I took a little time off to get the book done. And I knew I love coaching. So I started getting clients and but I wasn't on Facebook except for, goofy stuff. Um, and I knew I needed to get more arms going as far as getting the word out. And so um, and I also had a program that I'd been working off and on for a long time. And I just felt like as I was talking to clients, I needed to get going. So I knew I needed to kind of get focused and get the book and the work combined so it would just be seamless.
Mhm.
And that was so powerful to
Mhm.
really know how to talk about that book, know how to talk about the coaching, include it all, get on Facebook, and then get my program done. And so it's kind of been like putting all these pieces together so
Mhm.
that everything is available to people because everybody's at a little bit different stage. So it's allowed me just to elevate my game and free me up too. And like Michelle Robinson, I think it was, talked about, maybe doing a group. And so that's probably going to happen probably next year. So it's just allowed me to, with that focus. I have such confidence. I've always been confident, but when you have the words and understanding of what you're doing, what your clients need, you don't have to think about it. It just happens. So that's been fantastic.
Appreciate you so much. Thank you, Caroline. Is there any questions or anything you want to add, Anne, before I? Yep.
I think what you've shared, Caroline, all these things that you were wanting to do, and I just smile when your group, because of your group, because you weren't ever going to do a group. And now
Right.
with your confidence, you've changed your thoughts. And so the world is opened in other ways that you didn't think you wanted anything to do with before you were taking and a part of the program.
Yes. Yes, it's amazing. And it's kind of like everybody, that's why coaching is so valuable. I mean, you're investing in yourself to have people see you, that you may be so busy you're not seeing it.
Mhm.
And I think it's such a benefit. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's great. I
The
think.
feed, right. The feedback is amazing. So not only do you get feedback from Debbie and from me, you get feedback from your colleagues in the
Yeah.
program. So you get all these different perspectives looking at what you're doing. And I think that part of it as well. You get support, but also feedback from people who are seeing something that you haven't seen. So I think that is just an amazing other part of joining these programs is that it's you people share their feedback with you in caring, loving ways, and they only want the best for you because it is all about supporting each other and
Yeah.
enjoying and celebrating each other's successes, and that doesn't happen everywhere.
Yeah, I'm a big believer in doing that.
Yes.
And thank you for bringing that up. There's so many highlights that it's like, how can I possibly do this in 2 days? But the reflection is huge.
Hmm.
I'm a big believer in, how is this landing for other people outside of your world? Because we all can kind of get in it's kind of like being in a vacuum. And then we put it out there. It's like, I don't know why it's not landing. Well, we kind of group test things all the time. And we're honest with each other in a supportive way. But if it's not landing, let's find out now before you put it out in the world and spend a bunch of time on it. So those things are, or can one thing give you a little more of an edge, a little more sharpness? Those things can make such a difference. And it's really fun for all of us to be able to give that feedback. And Caroline's a great reflector. I call it reflectors. We were able to reflect with each other. So appreciate you so much, Caroline.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so
Thank
much.
you.